All right, guys. Justin Fields is back. That is the breaking news here on Chicago Bears Now this morning. My name is Harrison Graham. Hit that subscribe button for more Bears coverage on a daily basis, whether we're at home, whether in the studio, whether it's early in the morning, late at night. We got you covered when big stories drop. Ian Rapoport with the report this morning saying Justin Fields expected to return this week, saying today's practice, as long as there's no setback, he will start against Detroit. He even added that he almost played last Thursday night against Carolina, but the grip strength just wasn't quite there. But now the Bears feel like it is. Justin Fields feels like it is. And obviously that extra 10 days off between Thursday Night Football and this Sunday, a huge time gap to really get that hand back to full strength here. And this is fun news. This is good news. This is critical news. You need Justin Fields to get back on the football field if you're for Chicago, not just for these final 7 games, but more importantly, you would like to have as clear of a direction as possible this offseason if you are the Bears in determining whether or not you need to draft a quarterback or not. We'll talk about that side of it, but let's just talk about the short term first. Obviously, Bears are a 3-7 football team. Justin Fields making his return here after missing the past 4 games. Tyson Bagent managed to go 2-2 without him. Kudos to the undrafted rookie for beating the Raiders and the Carolina Panthers. Lost against the Chargers and the Saints in that 4-game stretch. You would hope, hey, go 2-2, beat Vegas, beat Carolina, and then Fields can come back. And I give Bagent credit for doing that. But this season has always been about evaluating Justin Fields. And it was unfortunate when he went down because the 2 games prior to getting hurt against Minnesota, he played arguably the 2 best games of his career against Washington and against Denver when he threw for 8 touchdowns against just 1 interception. And we were saying, okay, maybe things are starting to click. Now, full disclosure, that half of football against Minnesota when he got hurt, and then early in the third quarter, he didn't look that good. So can he pick up where he left off in those 2 prior games? Is it going to look a little spotty at first? We'll see. I mean, it will have been 35 days since he's played in an NFL game once he takes the field this weekend. So I'm fascinated to see how he plays. And, oh, by the way, you got the Detroit Lions on the road, a team that's 7-2 in second place in the NFC and running away with the NFC North. Maybe not running away. Minnesota's 6-4 now, but still has a comfortable lead in the division. So welcome back, Justin. I mean, that's not easy, and it doesn't really get easier when you look at the upcoming schedule. You got Detroit on the road, Minnesota on the road in prime time on Monday Night Football next week. Bye week, Detroit at home at Cleveland. That's a tough 4-game stretch in 5 weeks, but hey, great litmus test, right? Great measuring stick for the Bears to say, hey, all right, you missed some games with injury. It was up and down before the injury. Clock's ticking on if you're going to prove to be the guy beyond this year. You go play well against these teams, you could turn some heads in that building if you're Justin Fields. So I think that's how you have to look at it. It's an opportunity. It's a chance to, maybe change the narrative in Chicago. I don't think it's been determined one way or the other. I've thrown out the theory that I think the Bears have maybe already made their decision, but I still think there's time to change that here. And with him coming back and playing, that would lead one to believe that there is time to come back and, convince Ryan Poles, hey, I can be that dude. If you're excited to watch Fields play on Sunday, type me down below. Actually, type JF1. Get the JF1s going in the comments for Justin Fields if you're excited for QB1 to make his return. All right, so Justin Fields is back. At least we think. We'll see what Matt Eberflus says today. We'll see how the practice goes. But, again, if there's no setback, I expect him to play. That's what Ian Rapoport is reporting. And that's very, very good, like we said. We want to get him out there. And what I want to see from Luke Getsy is to get back to doing what you were doing in that 2-game stretch. Get him on the move the pocket, take some shots downfield. Stop with this 5 and 7 step drop with no play action BS, and do what he does best. Embrace his mobility. Take shots down the field. Like, he's not a run and shoot quarterback where he's getting the ball early. I was honestly very discouraged before last week's game when Getsy was asked, hey, if Fields can play against Carolina, how does that impact the game plan? And he said it doesn't change things much. Now, maybe he's just saying that publicly and it's different privately, but like to me, Fields and Bagent are not very similar quarterbacks. Like Justin is a guy you want to get on the move. He's a guy you want to take shots downfield with. He's not a guy you're trying to run and shoot with, get the ball out within a second and a half, which Bagent actually does that fairly well. But I also said before Bagent took over, like, hey, getting the ball out quick is nice, but sometimes you want to see plays develop and take those shot play opportunities, which we've seen Bagent miss those opportunities. It's almost like if you could morph these two quarterback strengths, they could be a superstar. But yes, Fields obviously has to improve in the quick game, and you can't eliminate it entirely, but don't eliminate what he does well. Get him on the edge, play action, shots downfield, like all that stuff needs to be employed in the offense. Now, we'll see how much design QB run there is, especially in this first game back with that thumb injury. We'll see how much they're going to try to protect it there. So I understand having to work around that a little bit, but you need to cater to his strengths as well. Like you've had him in your building, this coaching staff, this offensive coordinator for almost 2 years now. You know what he does well. And yes, he needs to improve in certain areas. Doesn't mean you can't work on those things at all within the flow of these games, but put him in positions to succeed. Get DJ Moore going downfield. I mean, that's one thing that was very clear when Fields went out is that the chunk plays with DJ just were not nearly as prevalent with Tyson Bagent, and that's okay. He was still averaging, 50, 55 yards a game. It's not like he disappeared, but I think a big DJ Moore game is very much on the docket very soon. Hopefully this Sunday against Detroit. Now, what has been encouraging the last couple of games, Darnell Mooney's gotten going. The Bears have found a way to get him in space, so hopefully that continues. So there were some good things from Getsy, while Fields was gone. But again, you got to recognize what your quarterback strengths are. That's what good coordinators do. So hopefully he's able to do that. Now, I do want to talk about our sponsor on today's show. That is Prize Picks, daily fantasy made easy. Football is in full swing, and I've had a blast winning up to 25 times my money on several entries with Prize Picks. And now I'm doing the same with basketball. NBA's underway. College basketball is here as well. The way Prize Picks works is very simple. You pick 2 to 6 players on any given entry, and if they will go for more or less than their projected stats, you kind of entry those players together. The more players you have in a given entry, the more money you have a chance of winning. I've got a 3-player entry for this weekend, 10 to win $50 right here. 3 players on the screen right now. CeeDee Lamb, more than 88.5 receiving yards versus Carolina. He's had over 150 in each of the last 3 weeks. We just watched that Panthers team play. Not very good. Calvin Ridley's been struggling with Jacksonville. He's kind of been phased out of their offense recently. Give me less than 53.5 receiving yards for him against the Titans. And then Bryce Young, less than 210 passing yards versus Dallas. 10 to win 50 there with Prize Picks. Sign up today, prizepicks.com/CLNS. Our code CLNS get you a $100 deposit match when you sign up. So get started today, prizepicks.com/CLNS. Code CLNS. That link and promo code will be in the description and comments of this video. All right, a couple more thoughts here around Justin Fields, the Bears. We'll see if we get an update on Khalil Herbert from Matt Eberflus today. He's eligible to return from IR. I think he was pretty close last week as well. And if he does come back, is he your lead back? Is Deontay Foreman? I think it's probably a kind of a 1-2 punch either way. I think Foreman's definitely earned a role here. And what does that mean for Roschon Johnson? Maybe his role is just not going to be as big this year as we thought it might be. Maybe next year he has more of a bigger role. But I just, I'm all for getting young guys more reps. But I think in this case, I think Foreman has to play. I mean, he just has to be on this football field. He's been that good. So definitely monitoring that situation at the running back position this week. And look, you want to be able to run the football with Fields as well. That's what was so bothersome early in the year. The first couple of weeks against Green Bay and Tampa, it's almost like, all right, Justin, we're just going to make you a pocket passer these first couple of weeks. We're not going to do a lot of play action. We're not going to run the ball a ton. Let's just see if you can throw us into these games. And look, full disclosure, he wasn't really able to do it. And hey, with him as your quarterback, you shouldn't be a 70% pass team. No team in the NFL is. Be balanced, run the football, play action, boots, shots downfield. Like, you've got to understand who this quarterback is. And yes, he needs to improve in a lot of areas. The accuracy comes and goes, especially in the quick game. But he's the highest graded vertical thrower in the NFL this year per PFF, 96.3 grade. He's been terrific in that regard. Do more of it. Yes, Justin, improve on the underneath stuff. Put slants on the front shoulder. Like, all that stuff has to be there. But I think Luke Getsy is, you gotta look at this as an opportunity for yourself if you're Getsy too. Like, if I can get Fields cooking down the stretch here, then my job could be saved as well. Matt Eberflus, like, none of these guys should feel like they're secure for next year. The head coach, the OC, or the quarterback. Like, it's go time. Like, you got 7 games left to send that message to Ryan Poles that, hey, we can be the trio moving forward. Do I personally believe that a Flus Getsy Fields combo is sustainable moving forward? Right now, I would say no. I haven't seen it. This group is Fields and Flus and Getsy are 6-21 as a coaching staff. Fields is, I think, 6-25 as a starter going back to his rookie year. Like, you got to win more at some point. You have to win more games. So we'll see if they're able to do that down the stretch. Again, it's a tough stretch coming up. 2 games against Detroit, roadie against Minnesota on Monday night, who's won 5 in a row, and at Cleveland, arguably the best defense in the NFL. You finish with Arizona, Atlanta, and Green Bay, or I think it's Atlanta, Arizona, Green Bay, whatever the order is. But to me, like, if you go 0-4, then you go like 2-1 down the stretch. That's like fake progress. It's just the schedule easing up on you. Like, to me, you need to win at least 1 or 2 of these next 4 to like show tangible progress as a football team, not just as a quarterback and a head coach. Like, at some point you got to beat teams that are worth something. Hey, Matt Eberflus, you're 0-8 in the NFC North. You've never won back-to-back games as a head coach. You can accomplish both of those with the win on the road on Sunday. Not saying I expect you to beat Detroit on the road this week, but it's a great opportunity, is it not? You want to start changing the narrative? You want to start convincing people like me you could be a head coach? Well, a win this week would certainly be a step in the right direction. All right, that's going to do it. Justin Fields expected to return. Hopefully we'll have official word from Matt Eberflus later today, but we know how he is. He does have his press conference later. I think if Justin Fields talks to the media today, quarterbacks talk on Wednesday. It's been Bagent recently. I think that would be a pretty clear signal that he is going to start. Hit that subscribe button. We'll be back later today with more on this discussion and some other Bears topics as well, so don't miss out. We'll be back in the studio for that. My name is Harrison Graham. Bear down. We'll see you guys soon.